Good morning, good morning. Hello and welcome. My name is Sussex Sandra and I'm here today to do another foundation review. I haven't done one for a couple of weeks, so I thought, right, let me just crack on and do these. The foundation I'm actually going to do today, I did buy in January and my intention was to do this review in January, but yeah, you know how life goes. It didn't quite happen. So it's a foundation that I am sure that all of you have seen adverts for on when you've been watching YouTube videos. It's the Dior Forever foundation. So it's this one here. Right, let's see if I can get this right because the sunlight is very bright this morning. So it's this one here. It's called Dior Forever foundation. Now, if you may remember, last year, no, actually a year before, I did do a foundation review of another foundation by Dior called Dior Forever. It was the Dior Skin Forever. Yeah, I think it was called the Dior Skin Forever. I believe that foundation range is now going to be discontinued. I think in the UK it's been discontinued and it's been replaced with this. I actually quite liked that Dior Skin Forever foundation. The only problem with it is that it wasn't great at controlling my oils for too long. It gave a nice sort of natural matte finish. I'll say a natural skin-like finish, and it was suitable for all skin types. If you've got very oily skin, then it was one of those where you would really need to do all your oily girl hacks just to make sure your skin is okay. This foundation, however, this is the new range. They've got this in two formulas. So they've got a Forever Glow and they've got this one. The downside of this foundation is the price. It's actually £37. So I'm actually going to forgive them for the price because you know how much I love this foundation, the Dior Backstage foundation, this one. This is the Face and Body Backstage foundation. In this foundation I bought it in 6.5N, so 6.5N neutral. When I looked at reviews, let's put that away. When I looked at reviews for this foundation, it seems like everybody says that the shades seem to be running a little bit lighter. So whatever shade you were in the backstage, probably go half a step to a step up. So I went up to 7N and it looks like it should be all right. Cross fingers. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. Let me read a little bit of information about this foundation and then we'll just crack on and do it. So, as I said, it is £37. It comes in a good 36 shades. So can you see that? 36 shades. I've got it today in 7N, which is described as 7N neutral. It's described as deep skin with neutral undertones. The previous colour was called 70. So in the Dior Skin, it was 70. And that's the one I did buy in that one. The description of the product is: with Dior Forever and its iconic long-wearing foundation formula, the complexion appears flawless and even and the pores tighten from morning to night. This enveloping fluid foundation does not just instantly embellish the skin, it improves its beauty day after day with a formula enriched in meticulously selected skincare ingredients to reveal the skin's full sensuality. Oh, is this sunlight going to get on everybody's nose? Right, let me move over here a little bit. Okay, Dior Forever provides the skin with a velvety matte finish. Dior Forever is also available in Dior Forever Skin Glow for a radiant finish. So for those of you who like a more dewy finish, that's the one to go for. And they say it's instrumental test on 20 women. I don't know what that means, but yeah, there you go. So that's the foundation I'm going to try out today. I'm going to try and do a full day wear test. It's coming up to 9 o'clock now. By the time I finish applying this, will probably be about 10 past, quarter past 9, and I won't be back until about say 6 o'clock, 6:30 this evening. I'm going to get a good wear test today for at least sort of 9 hours, I would say. When I come back, when I do my first thought reviews at the end of the day, I will be in my study and I will be using a ring light, so the lighting will look different. So any oils on my face will probably be bouncing back from the ring light, so do take that into account when I do that. Right, whew, as you can see, I'm hot and sweaty as per usual. For those of you who are first time to my channel, hello and welcome. You are talking to a woman, a lovely middle-aged woman who has got oily skin, unlike probably most women in my age group who have got sort of more dry, mature skin. My skin is very oily and I have blemishes, as you can see on my face. So I've got these blemishes all around here, also called hyperpigmentation. Oh gosh, right. I also have few sweats during the day as well. I just break out sweats, so my foundation wear test today is going to get challenged. Right, shall we crack on and do this? I've already primed my face, so again, I've got very oily skin. I always double prime. So the primers I used today were the Fenty Beauty all over. I do this all over my face, so it's the Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Pro Filter primer. So I put that all over my face. And this one is my second primer, which is the Becca Ever Matte Poreless primer, and I put this all over my key area, so my upper cheek, my nose, and there. I'm going to put some more on now because I think I've kind of sweated it all off at the moment. So I'm just going to put a little bit on now. Don't worry, I have got more of this. I bought back up during the January sales, so I have got some more waiting to be used. I'm actually wondering now if I should set my primer as well. I think I will. I'm going to set my primer as well. I don't do this all the time, but if I'm going to have a long day, I will set my primer. And the product I use is this stuff. It's called Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder. Very cheap product. I mean, I got it from, where did I buy it from? I bought it from Amazon, and it's just a good way of it literally just kind of holds back the oils. It just gives me an extra hour or two, I would say, and it does work. If you remember last year, Urban Decay came out with this product called Velvetizer. They made a big thing of launching it. I bought it. It was great. It worked. But I realised that most powders would actually do the same thing. And I compared it with this product, and this product definitely was better than that Velvetizer. And that Velvetizer cost about £21, whereas this cost about £5. Right, what I'm going to do half my face with a brush and half my face with a sponge. Let's get the brush. There we go. So I'm using my NYX brush. I love this brush. It's a multi-purpose brush. It's great for applying foundation. It's about £14. You can buy it from various sites online, and I think you can buy it in Boots as well. So yeah, half my face will be with a brush, half my face will be with a beauty blender. Let's crack on and do this, shall we? Look at that, brand new. So let's do this half. Okay, one mirror, let's get the mirror. Let me bring you in. Oh, this sunlight's going to annoy us. I know I look like a ghost right now, but don't worry, the foundation will sort it all out. Oh, the colour looks initially quite orange. Right, yes. Yeah, the colour looks... Oh shit, this looks really orange, doesn't it? Oh my god. Oh dear. Well, I haven't got time to pick another foundation today because I've got to crack on. So let's do this. Make this work somehow. Oh, this shade is not good. Okay, so initially it seems to be, with a sponge anyway, it's giving me quite a light coverage. I mean, I do look for medium to full coverage because I have got blemished skin, as you can see. Right, so that's like one pump using a sponge on that side. Ooh, that's not great, is it? Oh, Lord. Right, let's go in again. One more pump. That wasn't a full press down, it was about a 3/4 press down. But it does feel like it's drying quite quickly though, so I'll give them that. I can't get over how orange this looks on my face. I don't know if you're seeing the same colour I'm seeing, but it looks really orange. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's not covering up this bit here, which I really want. Okay, let's leave that to dry down. I'll do the other side with the brush. So, one brush, one pump. I really don't like this colour. It's interesting, like a couple of years ago, if I got this colour, I would have been so happy with it. But my standards have gone up so much now, and I expect so much from brands now when it comes to foundation, that I won't accept anything less. I can't believe they described this shade as neutral. What's neutral about it? It's really warm. Okay, so as expected, with a brush, it does give a bit more coverage. So I'm actually going to go over my whole face now with a brush. How's it looking? I'm not in love with this, and I normally get a good feel from my sort of first layer, and I'm not in love at the moment. I'm going to close the curtains. I've got half a curtain open, but I'm actually going to close it completely because the sun is really bright. It's on my side of the house this morning because it obviously is sunrise. It will set on my rear of the house at the end of the day, but it's rather annoying at the moment. Okay, that's how it's looking. Can you see that? So that's how it looks. I mean, it feels very light and comfortable. It feels like it is drying down to a natural matte finish. It's just the colour I'm not happy about. It's actually, it's warm. It's not as olivey neutral as I would like. But again, it's because I'm so used to finding my match in foundation shades now and finding good neutral foundations. I've been rather spoilt, so when I see a foundation like this, it's upsetting. And it's upsetting as well, particularly because the Dior Backstage is such a perfect colour on me. Let me let this one dry down, then I'll come back and I can close the curtains. Okay, so I've closed the curtain a bit so you can still see a bit of the sunlight over there, but it's not affecting how you're seeing my face. So that's how the foundation looks. If I bring you out so you can see it compared to my neck, you can see that I'm looking a bit Oompa Loompa-ish on my face. But it does feel comfortable. It seems to be drying down slowly, but it is drying down. So I'm going to set my face. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do my under eye highlight and contour, and then we'll see how it all looks at the end. Okay, so I have done all the makeup. I finished my face off. Let's bring you in so you can see a bit of a close-up on how this is all looking. At the moment, it's looking all right. It seems to have settled down. I've stopped sweating. I've set my face. I haven't done my setting spray yet, but I have done the powder. It all feels very comfortable. We shall see how this performs. Let me give you the time now, because I did mess about a little bit there. Oh my god, look at the time. I'm gonna be late again. Right, let's get in. I've got I'm doing supervisions this morning at work, so yeah. My first one's at 10:30 and look at it, it's 9:35. Let me just get my clock app up so you can see the time. Right, it's 9:35 and I'm still in the house. Thankfully it'll only take me about 20 minutes to get into work at this time of day, so that's all good. Right, so this is how it's this is how everything is looking at the moment. Looks all right at the moment. The foundation looks okay. Not happy about the coverage here because you can see it didn't cover up my sort of hyperpigmentation there. So it was definitely a medium coverage. I probably could have built it up a bit more, but I didn't want to put any more foundation on. I just wanted to do what I would normally do, but I believe you can build this foundation up to full coverage, but we shall see at the end of the day how this performs. All right, so when I come back at the end of the day, I always give my thoughts on how the foundation has performed. I use a system called TOPS, but I will explain that all when I come back later. And each category I score out of 10. My pass mark, I know it sounds silly, but I have a pass mark for foundations and how they perform. My pass mark is 35 out of 50. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs. But yeah, so far I'm feeling a little bit anxious about it because the colour was very orangey when I put it on. It didn't give me the coverage that I wanted, especially looking around here. But we shall see how it lasts during the day. All right, I will see you in a YouTube minute. Okay, so this is how my face is looking about an hour later. Doing all right so far, aren't we? We're doing okay. Looking actually quite glamorous, if I say so myself. Good evening, I am back after a rather long day at work. Let me give you the time now. So I've got my phone on a charger, so excuse all this. Time now is, what is it? It is, yeah, 7:30, just after 7:30. So I've been wearing this foundation for about 10 hours. Yeah, it's literally about 10 hours I've been wearing this foundation today. Shall we go through my thoughts on this foundation? Right, so the foundation I was wearing today, just a quick reminder, was the new Dior Forever. Lots of advertising going on social media at the moment. I think is it Natalie Portman's the person they've got advertising it, or is it Jennifer Lawrence? I can't remember. I know it's one of the famous actresses. I just don't really pay much attention to these things, but it's one of them that's doing the adverts, and you probably see it in front of lots of YouTube videos before you watch it and skip if it's anything like what I do. So this is the foundation I was wearing. It's the replacement for the Dior Forever Skin, or Dior Skin Forever. What do I think about it? When I do a foundation review, obviously it's a first impression and my wear test. When I do my reviews, I rate it in 5 categories. So the first category is on the transfer, whether the foundation transfers, because I've got very oily skin, so I need something that's not going to transfer onto my clothing. The next thing is on oil control. How well does the foundation control my oils? So that's the second thing. The third thing is on performance. So on performance, I'm looking at how the foundation applied. Did it blend well? Did it work well with other products that I used when I applied the foundation? How did it wear? Did it melt? Did it fade? Did it separate? Did it feel comfortable? You know, everything about the performance of the foundation. You know, does it do the things that it promises that it says it's going to do? So there are a few claims about this foundation. The second thing is the price. So how does the foundation compare to other foundations in the same bracket, in the field that it's marketing itself at? So this is a high-end foundation, so I'll be comparing it to other high-end foundations that I've got in my possession. And finally, I look at the shade range. So how is the shade range? Is it good? I mean, some foundations, they're claiming now they've got 50-60 shades, but are they 50-60 shades or whatever of quality, or are they just 50-60 shades of rubbish that nobody can actually wear? So let's go through this. So when I do the transfer and oil, I use blotting sheets, and I do those two things together. Each category I mark out of 10. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer because I feel like I'm a little bit far from you, and you can probably see that my skin is oily, so we'll get a good idea of how it looks after I've blotted. And also consider that I have got the ring light on, so the ring light does tend to bounce off the oils on my face. So let's do this, shall we? Blotting sheets. A decent foundation will use no more than 1 to 2 blotting sheets. Foundations that aren't so great on controlling oil and transfer, I'll go on to the third sheet. So let's see. So sheet 1. Right, so that's sheet 1. Sheet 2. Sheet 2. So I'm going on to 3 sheets now. Okay, so we've got 2.5 sheets there, I would say. Yeah, so this is the first sheet, mainly oil on that. Second sheet had some oil, foundation transfer, and third sheet was about halfway full of oil. So if I'm looking at oil control, it's not great, and if I'm looking at transfer's not too bad actually. There's only a little bit of foundation, and I hardly noticed any foundation transferred on my paperwork today or on my white coat. Yes, I'm wearing a low collar today, but my white coat for work is like a lab coat. When I put that on, it does hit my my collars and my chins, and I did blend the foundation down my neck because of the shade. It was a bit orangey, so I did blend it down my neck, and there wasn't really any transfer on my coat collars. So I think for transfer it's not too bad, so I'm actually going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 because it's not too bad. Oil control, not so great. I had to blot a couple of times today because I did feel a bit oily, and then we did see oil on there as well. So I think for oil control, not so fantastic. So I'm actually going to say for that, I'm going to say about, it's not so great. I'm going to say about 5 out of 10 because it's not brilliant, not bad because it is 10 hours, but it's not brilliant because I did have to blot. Let me put my glasses on because I can't see a damn thing. Right, okay. Let's go on to performance. Now I'm going to focus on the claims that this foundation has. So on the Dior website it says for 24 hours complexion coverage remains flawless. The skin's texture appears tightened and refined with a velvety matte finish without a mask-like effect. This foundation works like a skincare cream, protecting from drying and shielding the skin against exterior aggressors and UVA and UVB rays with SPF 35 PA triple plus protection. So let's look at that. So on the performance side, how does it look for me? I think that it applied very well. It did. There's no problems about how it applied. It blended out very easily. It gave me a very natural finish, a very skin-like finish. Not as matte as I would like. So I do like a more matte finish. I don't want like mask-like cakey, but I do want a natural matte finish. And it didn't quite give me that. I don't know if I didn't give it long enough to dry down, but I spent about 20 minutes this morning applying my makeup, 20 minutes to half an hour. And I would say that at no point did it dry down to a natural matte finish. I did also get a little bit sweaty, I'll admit that. I had one of my sort of sweats this morning. I have those. When you get to my age group, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just had one of those moments when I did break out in a bit of a sweat. So that might have affected how it performed. So for me this morning, it never did get down to a natural matte finish. When I was driving around, sort of mid-morning, it wasn't too bad. It did look quite nice on my face actually. At one point I actually thought I looked quite glamorous, and I had a couple of people at work saying, oh, you look really nice. But they talked about my whole ensemble, so the purple hair, the dress I'm wearing and everything else. So I think they were talking about the whole ensemble, and the face just kind of matched it really. So no one actually said anything about, oh, your face looks really, really good. And I have had comments like that when the makeup has been, you know, I didn't get that today. I just had the overall look was good. So I think for performance, it hasn't faded too much actually. I mean, well, saying that is, look at all this around here. Let me take that all back. So my pigmentation is coming through pretty strongly along there. Forehead, there is some fading up on my forehead here. I didn't like that it didn't give me the coverage that I wanted. I didn't really want to put any more on my face this morning because it was such an orangey colour. Because they're describing it as a neutral, and I found this very red, very, very red. The Dior Skin Forever, I've got that in the shade 70, and it's nowhere near as red as this, because I did have a look again afterwards, and it's nowhere near as red as this, and it's supposed to be the same sort of shade, comparable shade. So I don't know if I should have gone for the 6, I don't know, it's just that the 6 looked too light. In the backstage I wear the 6.5, which is a perfect shade for me. This was just too warm, but I'll talk a bit more about the shades in a minute. So I think performance wise I'm actually quite disappointed with it, because it has faded, it hasn't given me the matte finish that I like. It says over time that it's going to tighten your pores and everything. It does feel very light, it does feel very comfortable. I think if you've got normal skin, combination skin, you might enjoy this more. I'm not sure if I need to just do another test of this foundation, so I'm probably going to wear it again tomorrow just to see if I have a different effect. See if I can do it without having my morning sweats, and see if it has a different effect. And if it does, if I do get a different result, I will update on my in the comments down below. What I'll do, any updates I have, I will pin it in the comments below just to let you know. So I'll probably wear this foundation for the next few days just to see how I get on, and if I really don't get along with it, I'll probably stop wearing it. It's a shame in this country that unlike in America, I think like in Sephora, if you don't get along with their foundation, you can just return it. Over here, you have to, once you've got it, you've got it, and that's it. And this was an expensive product, and I couldn't get a sample of it either, so I had to buy the full size. But I really wanted to try it because I've enjoyed the other two Dior foundations that I've tried, but this one is nowhere near as good, in my opinion, as the other two. So for performance, I think you're getting the idea how I feel about it. For performance, I'm not going to give it that great a score. To me, it's very average, really average. So I'm just going to give it a 5 out of 10 because it's nothing special as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely not something I'm going to repurchase again. Definitely not. For price, it's £37. It's bloody expensive. Again, if I'm comparing it to other foundations in that price range, so we're looking at things like the NARS, we're looking at the Bobbi Brown sort of Skin Weightless, the NARS Radiance, you know, we're looking at Kat Von D's, we're looking at Urban Decay, we're looking at all those top level foundations in the £30 plus range. Nah, doesn't compare. Doesn't even compare. I think all of those other foundations that I've mentioned, I think they perform better than this. What this reminds me of very much is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. In the colouring, that's more like in the colouring here is very much like that, but I think the Makeup Forever HD foundation performs better than this. I just haven't got along with any of the Makeup Forever foundations because the shades are just completely rubbish on me. So yeah, this is very much shade wise colouring like that, but performance wise, I don't know what to compare it to. I just think it hasn't performed very well. But again, this is just the first impression, so I do need to wear this a few times, see if I can try it out with different things. I'm not quite sure what else to try it out with, because I just wore this foundation how I wear all my foundations. I do a double prime, I set my face with set my primer with a powder, I put this on, I put a foundation on, I set my powder, and I use a setting spray. That's what I do with all of the foundations I wear. So I treated it like I treat all the other products, and it just hasn't performed that well. So for price, I think it's actually way overpriced for what it is. I really didn't like it today. So considering that, and yes, it is a first impression and I do want to try it out again, I'm actually going to give it a 3 out of 10 because I think it's just way too expensive. So 3 out of 10 for price. Shade range, well, they say there was, what was it again? Was it 26, 36? I can't remember how many shades it was. It was something like 36 shades. So it's a good breadth of shade range. So from very light to very deep. On a personal level, I think describing this as a neutral is very misleading because this was so red and so warm undertoned. So the shade range is good, but I think their descriptions are misleading, and I even used their shade range, their shade finder on their website, and it came up with this shade. Nah, it's just a nah for me, man. It really is just a nah. So I think for shade range, it's a good range of shades, but I don't know about this undertone. I ain't too fond of this at all. So I don't know what to do because it's a good range, but it's just completely wrong. So I think for shades, I'm just going to give it a 6 out of 10. So this, I mean, I don't know what the total is, but I'm pretty certain it's under 35. This was very disappointing for me, but I am, as I said, I'm going to try it out for the rest of the week and see if I can get any different results, and I will update you. If I do get a significantly different result, I will come back and do an update on it, so I'll let you know. Alright, so this, I'm filming this on Monday. This video probably won't go up until Wednesday, so if I have a different result tomorrow, I will attach it to this video, and so when I say tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll attach it to this video and let you know. But at the moment, this is not a foundation I'm going to recommend. Definitely not for us oily skin girls. I think for people who've got normal skin, you might enjoy this more, but if you can get a sample, this is what I'm going to say. This is one foundation where I say you definitely need to get a sample and to try it out. Try the shade out. Don't go by their description because their descriptions are rubbish. And then see how you go from there, really. But this is a nah for me, mate. Definite no. Alright, I hope that was enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed that. I hate giving negative reviews. I always feel funny about that. So I just need a drink. No, focusing on the important things here. Let me have my glass of wine. Don't forget I have got a giveaway going, but if you want to know what the giveaway is, you need to watch some of my earlier videos. It's a video that I filmed this month, and you probably need to watch the videos all the way through to know what I'm talking about. But I have got a giveaway going at the moment, so do check through. And if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a like, okay? And whilst you're at it, you might as well press that little red subscribe if you haven't done so already, because whilst it's red, that means you haven't joined my little club. So press that red, it will turn grey, and that means that you've joined the family. And then you might as well press that little notification bell, because then that will ensure that you are notified when I do any other uploads. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Usually don't have this kind of this much of a failure with foundations, not especially in the high-end foundations. I don't normally have that much of a failure. The last time I had a failure like this with the foundation was the Huda Beauty one, and I gave that one away, and that was an expensive foundation as well. Actually, this performs very similar to the Huda Beauty foundation, so if you like that one, you probably will like this one as well, because I don't like this one at all.